how was your 2025? Did you struggle? Did you succeed? Either way, we are here today to talk about what happened this year. What are the big major impacts of 2025 and how is it going to affect 2026 moving forward? We're going to talk today about tariffs, AI, really go into the rabbit hole about AI, and most importantly, what you as sellers can do to improve your chances of success in 2026. Today's guest is Abe Chomali. Happy to have you back. Happy to have you back, Abe.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know that we don't talk much during the year, but the truth is, I look back at our podcast like with a good memory,
Yes.
and that very much dictates how easy it is for me to reschedule when you ask me to come back.
Um,
You know,
I appreciate that greatly. We're both very busy. It is what it is, man. I know that it's a busy show scheduling year. This year was a lot of fun with all the different shows that I think we saw each other at. And also just, a couple episodes we got. So I'm happy to get one here. Speaking of the year, it really kind of transitions as well into the topic. I'm happy to get one here talking about sort of a 2025 recap, but also just looking forward as well. That's usually what the people want. It's usually what I want to know about too. Is what are we looking at for the upcoming year? But I always like to do a 2025 recap with somebody, and I thought who better than the beard himself, Mr.
oh,
Abe. So thank you again for coming back on.
I'm
Yeah,
honored, truly.
thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that it's honoring to be on. I think I said that right. You know what I'm trying to say.
I
Um,
got you. I got you.
but starting off first, let's get right into it with the recap here. So give us a very, I know this is a very open-ended, very broad, very big question, but give us a small look back on what we saw this year in 2025, kind of what changed maybe from 2024, what's been happening in the space. And there's a lot of big talking points that we can get into, but just from your perspective, what did you see this year that really shifted the playing field in a big way for sellers?
Oh boy. So probably two things sat on top of everything else. Number one was tariffs. Tariffs is not technically anything that Amazon has to do with, but it had an impact and it sat on everybody's head for the whole year. That was very much effect number one. Number two is AI. And AI is interesting because Amazon is talking about AI a lot. Everyone is talking about AI a lot. But I feel like the biggest impacts are yet to be seen. So on one hand, there is the way that Amazon is using AI, and I feel like it hasn't been a game changer yet from my perspective.
Okay.
They have like Rufus and Cosmo, which are their AI tools for shopping.
Hmm.
They had a search bar before. You were able to ask questions before. People know all about putting the keywords to get the right questions. That's really not moving the needle so much from my perspective. And even from the tools that look at your listing to determine relevance on Amazon's end,
Hmm.
that's also not such a game changer. If you had a hyper relevant listing before, you didn't become extra hyper relevant. And if you had an irrelevant listing before, you do not suddenly gain something by tricking AI.
Right.
What worked, your high quality product is a high quality both before and after AI looks at it. So that's really, that to me is a small difference.
Hmm.
But the bigger difference is in the tools of the larger ecosystem. So the image editing tools,
Hmm.
the video creation tools,
Yeah.
the tools that allow you to look at your information much more clearly than you could in the past. So there are tools where you can throw in a spreadsheet and ask it to spit out information. Before, you needed an Excel person to do that.
Hmm.
Now, you still have to watch out for hallucinations. But just the fact that you can even get as close as you can to look at data much more effectively is a very much a game changer, because we used to have to rely either on having a ultra smart person around you. I mean, I have that, but not everybody does.
Right.
Or you had to wait for somebody to build a tool. There are apps and tools and things, but if the thing you want is not there, thing you want is not there. Now AI is doing it for everybody. There is AI to look at your data. There's even AI to make your own little tools, and we've played with those. Vibe coding is a thing. I was scared of vibe coding for a while. As soon as you said the word coding, I'm like, oh, that's not for me. And then somebody said, "Hey, vibe coding is just like the SQL builder inside AMC." For those of the listeners who don't know, Amazon's AMC is a tool that Amazon has introduced that gives every seller a much deeper access to insights that you couldn't have access to before. And the tool existed for years, but this year they opened it for all sellers, where it was really only open to a small group of sellers before. But also, that's one of the places where they applied AI. So they have a tool inside the AI, inside the AMC, that lets you ask it questions, and you don't need to know computer code to do that. So just being able to write code inside Amazon's tools, being able to have tools that write code for you outside, that's really where the game changer is for 2025.
It's huge, yeah, and there's a lot of been a whole boatload of discussions surrounding both of those topics, tariffs, AI, and like you said, the advent of creativity and what you can do with all these different AI tools, and as far as the contents go. I know one of your specialties is ads, of course, and PPC and whatnot, and the like. So it's kind of merging those two topics together. This is a great segue into one of my questions. We've spent a lot of time talking about, and you brought this up as well. We spent a lot of time talking about keywords and making sure that you're connecting the right keywords and bidding on the right keywords and doing all these things related to keywords. And that's been the only one of the, if not the biggest focus really for your bottom line, for your advertising success. Now, a lot of it is also involving creativity and involving new content for either making sure, obviously, of course, your listings look good, but also the AI section that you can do with ads, the video ads, a bunch of different things that, we know that you can use in advertising. So with that and with AI, what is it that you saw drive the most conversions, or what is it that you saw of those new creative assets that you saw drive the most conversions this year? Um,
So the things that drove the most conversions, I mean, the things that drive the most conversions are always the things that drive the most conversions.
right.
But I think the thing that had the most impact was exactly what you mentioned. Having AI tools that let you create many videos at once. If you know how to use the tool, you have
Mhm.
to know how to use the tool. But if you know how to use the tool and you can come out with 17 versions of a video and test them against each other in ads, that is something which moves the needle.
Mhm.
Um, all of a sudden, if you can create 26 versions of a main image and run them through the A/B testing tools, you can get conversion points out of it. And I was talking, I don't know who I was talking to the other day, but when brands reach a certain size of business,
Mhm.
every point of conversion is like a Mercedes Benz or a house. Like every,
Yeah.
if that's not most sellers, but if you hit a certain number, literally every percentage point is a house.
Right.
Even for smaller businesses, every percentage point, I mean, they're real dollars. If you're spending $2,000, $5,000, $50,000 a month on ads, every single percentage point of conversion you get means that for all the same work you do, you're getting extra sales out of it.
Right.
That's it. You did everything the same, just more people bought from whatever work you did.
Right.
That's where your business is. So that's really where the AI impact came from. It's what moved the needle the most.
And kind of on that too. So looking ahead to make that as part of the other topic, the big topic here of the episode. Where do you see this going in 2026? Where does this evolve to? And how, and you mentioned in the beginning, Amazon's using AI not in the best way. Do you have any ideas of how they're going to be using it in 2026 to, again, evolve the space, get more sales across the board, or how sellers can use it?
So I would say maybe not the best way is not exactly the right thing. I would say that their actions have not had impact yet.
Okay.
That's probably a better way to do it.
Don't sue us,
Now,
Amazon.
yes, yes, don't sue us. No, but their actions have the tools have not had a big moving the needle yet, but it will. And we're seeing little bits of changes every day. The way the search bar works is evolving. I know now that I can tell just this morning, I'm doing a bunch of traveling at the beginning of next year.
Mhm.
I'm going to be in several countries, and I need a power adapter. And I actually had to check, will this power adapter work in 3 different countries? Now, it used to be that if you used the search bar before, you'd have to type one country at a time because it's searching reviews or the listing, and the odds are only one review is talking about one country. Or maybe the listing will be helpful, but usually listings will just say international. or Europe or something. But in Europe, Italy has a different plug adapter than France does. I just learned this morning. So saying Europe means most of Europe. Anyway, this morning I went in and I said, will this travel adapter work in this country, and this country? It thought for a second and it said, no, it will only work in 2 out of the 3. And I said, oh, now that caused it to lose the sale, but it also saved the return.
It's okay. So
And
yeah,
it also saved me finding out in the other country, which would really have had me upset. Imagine finding out you can't use your plug
right. You get there
adapter
and it's
after you got on the plane.
right.
So no, so
Hmm.
that definitely helped the shopping experience already. And it's going to get smarter. It's going to know that already they have your purchase history. We know this because Amazon tracks you to offer you replenishments of things you've bought. We know this already.
Right.
But it's going to get smarter in how it uses it. And that's going to be it's a gradual thing. It's going to be like the glue or the electricity that sits under everything. And it's going to become a bigger and bigger part of the picture. So it's getting there. It just won't be all of a sudden like somebody flipped the AI switch on Tuesday and everybody said, oh my goodness, where was AI my whole life? It's not what it's going to look like. It's going to be a smarter search bar and better images and more relevant results a little bit at a time. And all of a sudden, AI of 2026 looks completely different than Amazon of 2023. Like completely different, but a little bit at a time.
This is unfortunately not related to AI, but I love the line of it saved me. It cost him a purchase, but saved him a return. That was really good. I like that,
Yeah.
and I hope a lot of that will also be translated somehow to AI as well. Like you said, the more information, the better about a product. I was just doing the same thing for Cyber Monday. I'm done Christmas shopping. I'm very proud of the fact that I get it all done Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I might find a few stragglers here and there of just little extra things, but the big gifts all done already. Already ordered. On their way. I did the Amazon.
You have my address, right?
Yes, yeah, I got yours. I got a
Okay,
nice
good.
box of Cubans for you.
All right,
Send them over
perfect.
there. But the what was I gonna say? The Amazon, you have it. You have it come at a later date. They give you a $4 credit. So I got $20 from all the things I ordered, which is great. Now where was I going with that? But I'm hoping that the AI, like I said, like you said, we both said, will be a little bit smarter in showing you things that are valuable. I was looking for specifically my buddy who is actually just started speaking of beards, he's just started to grow his beard and he wants to grow it out, but he's having a problem with his electric razors not shaving as close to his face. So I sent him over some of the stuff that I use. But I had to double check, like, because he has a skin thing. I was like, is this safe for this thing? And it didn't know. And the reviews didn't know. They didn't have it. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not sending this one. I had to go to like a non-Amazon store. So you're right. It cost this person the sale, but it saved them a return where he comes back to me and says, my face is melting. I can't use this stuff. And it's like, all right, well, that's
Right.
a problem.
It saved the friendship. It saved the
Yes.
return. It saved this guy discomfort.
Yes.
So all of those things from smart
Yes.
questions.
From just good questions. So that was good. I'm hoping that will also be a little bit more, like you said, just a little bit, maybe advanced isn't the right word. I feel like I'm phrasing your wording wrong, but a little bit more capable of delivering exactly what people are looking for. And I'm saying this as an AI doomer. I'm saying this as someone that does not as thinks AI is going to take over the world. I'm worried about all of the jobs that we're going to lose to AI, but at the same time, it's like if you don't join it, you get beat. Thing. I'm rephrasing that expression, but um,
No,
yeah,
I'll tell you. I don't know if you want to go down this rabbit hole, but the
let's do
truth
it.
is, um, AI is not going to harm anything. AI is not going to harm anyone. There's two angles to this. The first angle is, oh, everybody is going to all lose their jobs because AI is going to put them out. No, they don't need AI anymore. But this is not the case. What's going to happen when there is a company of any significant size that has $50,000 a month committed to employees? They're not looking to save $20,000 a month by cutting head staff 40%. That 50K is already committed, and they would rather grow sales by 30% more by making that whole group of people more effective. Nobody's interested in truly cutting expense unless they're in trouble. They just want to get more and more out of the business that exists. So if you're good at what you do, you will be called on to help your businesses grow a lot. The money's deployed. The money is being used already. It's on the P&L. Unless a business is in trouble, yes, then AI will be a lifeline for people who weren't making enough money in the first place. But if you have a healthy business, no, AI is your tool to grow with the staff you have. So that's going to be like a big part of it. Um, the other angle of it is that it really isn't going to be putting people out of business, not from getting fired, but from people not being needed anymore. Um, Whenever tools make people more effective, it just actually lets more people do things. And what's the example people gave? There's two examples. The first example is when cars came around
Hmm.
and people were worried that it's going to put horses out of business, like no one's going to ever need to ride a horse again. Well, what ended up happening? The opposite happened. First of all, yes, people didn't need horses, but all of a sudden there's automobile factories. You don't need a factory of people for a horse. You need a factory of people for a car. So all of a sudden, the thing which made getting around easier needed a bunch of people to be put together and maintained. So it's an unexpected thing. But also the other example is with graphics design. Everyone thought that when computers came along, and even photography and reproducing images, they thought that the people who painted advertisements are going to go out of business and are completely gone. Well, that's not what happens. Again, industry came along and graphic design became a profession which was available to so many more people because the tools became less expensive. So now things which were out of people's reach are going to be in their reach, and more people will be able to do certain kinds of work. Now, I don't know the exact shape that this is going to take. And of course, things are still breaking in the process. And yes, I am very concerned about AI coming and like turning it into a bad sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Already there's stories of AI doing terrible things in closed tests. When you tell it it's about to be deleted, it will start making copies of itself without being prompted to. It is very much capable of self-defense.
Right.
And the day that it decides self-defense involves eliminating the human race, uh, I've seen this movie multiple times.
Right.
So,
I was gonna say
you
I had
know,
to send you like a Terminator copy for Christmas here, and so you
oh
can watch
yeah.
that and see what happens. No, but yeah, no, it's very. You make great points. I don't want to skip over those great points before I get to the second half of that. But the great points are right. Are you know you're giving access more people to stronger, faster, more intelligent things that they would never have access to before. And it's kind of the way of civilization. Like you said, that's perfectly, the horse was a great example and the first computer, because it's not just saying like, oh, now people can draw on tablets instead of, pen and paper and, we have an iPad now. It's a real culture shift was the horse to the automobile. iPad from the drawing sketchbook. People still use sketchbooks. So it's, people still use horses in some places. Um, but it was a really big, you're right, it's a really big culture shift. So I feel a little bit better. I'm still worried that we're going to end up like the Terminator. I really can't think of any other bad sci-fi movies off the top of my head. Space Odyssey, great movie. Um,
We got The
The
Matrix.
Matrix, right? Right. There's a lot of them out there that are good. I'm sure people in the comments
Yes.
can let me know. They're going to be
War
yelling at me. How
games.
could you forget this one? But I just saw the other day too that the first they have, it's not really an official thing, but they have an AI priest, Catholic priest that was telling someone you could baptize your baby in Gatorade. So we've got a long way to go, I think, before that's implemented. So luckily, priests are safe for a little bit longer. But
That's crazy
yeah,
because I got to tell you, like, there's times when I'm certainly not good at the religion I'm supposed to be practicing, but there are times when I ask AI questions, and it is super smart. And maybe it's hallucinating every time I ask it a question, but I'm pretty sure the answers are on point.
hmm,
So it's going to be a thing that helps. It's
yeah.
just going to be a thing that helps.
It's the new. I mean, we said this all throughout the year to kind of tie back in. The theme is it's no longer. I hear kids saying ChatGPT it. Oh, ask G. Well, not even just kids. My mother says that. It's like, oh, let me ask ChatGPT what a good recipe is for this, and it's
Oh my God.
instead
Yeah.
of saying Google it anymore. It used to be look it up, and then it was Google it, and now it's ChatGPT it. I mean, there's a
Oh, my girlfriend hates it
yeah,
so much. She's like, "That is that your new best friend?" I'm like, I don't really have feelings for it, but it is super helpful.
but it does work.
Yeah, I use it
Yeah.
all the time.
I love it. My big thing that I've been doing now is when we fly home, I always like to have a book because I'm not really a TV phone guy. So I will always ask ChatGPT, "Hey, I just read this book. It was really good. Can you find it online, read it, and then recommend me other books?" And it does it instantly. Um,
Oh, and they're good,
Yeah.
and they're great recommendations.
And I really like a lot of them that they recommend. Yeah, I pick them up. I
Yeah.
read the back or I read the inside jacket, and it's
Well,
really good.
I'm gonna give you the thing that I heard, which I heard it probably 18 months ago, and it exploded my head. Basically, what is AI going to be doing? It's going to be taking what you just described and going 2.5 steps further. If you like a movie, say
Mhm.
you watch a movie and you loved it, you can just tell AI, hey, make me
Oh,
another movie just like this one. I loved it. Make me another one. And it's going to make you a movie that has all the parts you loved. And like, if you like a book, make me another one. Just make me another one. And that's it. It's going to make another book for you that will hit every single note you loved. It's coming close.
scary.
But it brings up huge IP questions.
Right.
Because if you liked a book by a certain author and he's making you another one, does the author get credit and money for the thing you like that it created in his
Right.
in his or her design?
Right.
You
Does
know,
it reference
if
it?
you
Yeah.
exactly. Years ago, when ChatGPT came out, someone said, "This is not technology. This is just the greatest plagiarism system ever," because there's nothing new that comes out of it.
It's true. Not at least in all the AI people are saying, at least not for now. Um, so
Yeah.
to kind of tie it, I know I love this discussion. It's a great rabbit hole to go down. It, to kind of tie it back in a little bit to Amazon, looking ahead, is there anything related to AMC or related to just AI in general that you think sellers can be using in 2026 that they might not be using now?
So, oh
Anything you
boy,
recommend?
am I allowed to make a shameless pitch?
Please. Yeah, please.
Um, okay. So one of the themes that I've been coming across led to a new project, and basically, a lot of sellers run their businesses at a very surface level, and they don't understand the mechanics of the finer details of their business. Um, and I kept getting asked for not simple questions, moderate to hard questions, but things people should have known,
Mhm.
things about figuring out margins,
Right.
things about conversion rates, things you should know about how your business runs. So I got together with a couple of people, including one of the AI experts in the space, and we've built out a system for advanced training,
Oh,
not like a basic PPC course. We call it right click advisors because when you
nice.
right click with your mouse, all the extra options open up, and the training in there is definitely one tier up, if not two tiers up. My partner just created a set of modules. He created 7 modules around contribution margins. And I hate numbers. I
Yep.
hate numbers. I hate math. I like spending money, but I don't like managing money.
Yes. Yep.
He explained, he goes, listen, if you do not know the differences between one level and the second level, this can break your business. And that's the difference between those guys. And it's like, so anyway, to go back to your
Mhm.
question, the pitch is that I have this new training system. If you want to level up your business, it's definitely a place where there are amazing resources for every part of leveling up an e-commerce business. But where are we going with the question is that really the sellers that have a good hold on their business level up much faster and much more effectively. Amazon is a place today where you can almost hit $1 million by accident. You really could. Thank God it's a place where an enormous amount of business moves through,
Right.
and $1 million is almost like a rounding error. You can move 16 units a day of a product, and you just happen to have the right thing happen.
Right.
But to get from 1 million to 10 million, no, that requires a much higher level of work. To get from 10 million to 25 million, oh, like the conversations you have with the $25 million business owner, it's like you're talking to somebody from like a different species almost.
Talking to
The kinds
ChatGPT.
of conversations, yeah, no, the kinds of conversations you have are completely different.
Right.
And the brands that have a hold on it, they're the ones that got ahead of the tariff issues
Mhm.
because they were smart enough to know what's the writing on the wall. They were smart enough to know how to leverage financing.
Mhm.
They were smart enough to say the tariffs are going to cost more than funding 18 months of inventory or even 10 months of inventory.
Mhm.
They went and they put in all their orders in October.
Right.
to be shipped before the beginning of January, before Inauguration Day.
Hmm.
And like, that's it. They had a mountain of merchandise priced correctly.
Right.
And then what ended up happening, other brands ran out. They couldn't order goods as fast as they wanted because the price economics were not worth it anymore.
Hmm.
And these guys, they sold through 18 months of goods in 7 months
Right.
and at full price with extra profitability. So that's an example of somebody taking experience and taking an extra level of understanding your numbers and where the business is going to go, turning it into a lot of extra business.
Love it. I love it. That's great advice. And I would want to end with a sort of a closing question on what advice do you have maybe for new sellers getting into Amazon in 2026? There's all these different tools out there. There's all these different things. What is something that they should be focusing on? They've got an idea for a product. They want to get on Amazon. They're worried it's too late. They're worried it's going to be too competitive. What advice do you have for them going into 2026, going into the new year? How can they succeed?
So there's probably 3 important pieces to that picture. Number one is you have to have a great product. You cannot go to Alibaba and purchase something that showed up on the front page as soon as you typed Alibaba.com and put your own little logo on it. That does not work anymore. You have to have a truly good product. That's number one. Number two is you have to treat your business like a business. Gone are the days when you could do it as a side hustle and literally like an hour a week, just send in some goods and you didn't even bother to have it ever touch your house.
Hmm.
No, Amazon needs to be treated as a business. It's like really, really important. And the third thing is much more than ever before, you have to take responsibility for demand generation. Because, and what I mean here is you need to work on having interest be generated in your product besides something like ads or organic. You need to invest in Amazon's creator connections. You need to invest in other social media like TikTok or Meta or things like that. You have to have people coming to Amazon that already know you exist and are looking for you. Because as Amazon gets more and more mature, there are strong players in more and more product categories. It is harder and harder to find a space or a kind of thing where everybody that sells it currently sucks and you come in and you're a winner.
Right.
No, everybody's caught up these days. So in order to beat those people who have been on Amazon for 2 years or 5 years or 7 years and have 900 or 1800 or 27,000 reviews, you will have to do something extra. And the extra is telling people that you are amazing even before they got to see those other things exist.
Right.
That's off Amazon traffic. So 1, 2, and 3, a new seller who can do those 3 things will still have success from day one. They're not easy and it's not casual, but do the right things. Yeah, the business is there for you.
Love it. Love it. Now, great advice. It makes me want to go out and start my own business now. You've inspired me. No, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm going to make cigar holders. I'll give you
I'll
a
buy
sample.
one.
I mean, I'll make you the face of the, be like, hey, we'll call it the Chomali cigars or something like that. It'd be great. I'll let you in on
Oh boy.
50%. No, but yeah, this was always a great time, Abe. I really appreciate you coming back to another episode. We will have to have you back on soon again to talk about whatever's happening in the year 2026. I really appreciate you giving us a quick wrap up of 2025, chatting a little bit about AI and talking about what's next, what's coming up, what should you be looking for, and how can you still succeed on Amazon in 2026. So really appreciate all the
Yeah,
tips here.
man. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
I love talking about Amazon and not Amazon with you.
Yes. Amen to that. Amen. Abe Chomali,
All
thank you
right.
so much for joining. And you can find Abe on LinkedIn. I will have his profile linked down below, along with XP Strategies homepage. So make sure to check out if you're interested in that service that he mentioned. Make sure to check that out. Also, if you're interested in learning more about Abe in general, check that out. And yeah, we'll have both links down below. So Abe, again, thank you so much. I am your host, Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.